Good morning, No Man's Sky fans, travelers, and interlopers. Welcome to episode 13 of NMSisLife, where No Man's Sky is more than a game, it's life. With me, as always, is my friend and fellow host, DG Squared. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Cloudrunner.
Yes, and today we have a very special episode. You guys get to listen to me and DG talk like a bunch of giddy nerds over all the fun, awesome things in No Man's Sky. Which doesn't sound that exciting.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, due to the hurricane, Mr. Dopesart is not able to join us today. It's causing all kinds of Wi-Fi issues down in his area. So we wish him the best. And for you, your family, and Godspeed, lots of safety. Take care. We want to have you on next week. So definitely next week we're going to have Mr. Dopesart, provided the hurricanes don't completely mess with him. And today we're going to have some fun talking about nerd stuff.
Yeah, it was. He was super excited to be on the show. He's still super excited to be on the show for next week. But as you all know, there's a nasty hurricane going on, and unfortunately, like DG said, he is affected by that right now. But let's just talk about the changes so far of No Man's Sky. I mean, it's been a while since you and I have just been able to talk to each other actually about the game. So I mean, what have you been enjoying so far? I mean, the weeklies have been fun, the new gear and all that stuff. But what have you been up to in the game?
Well, myself, I've been doing a lot of exploring, little new regions and stuff. I've sort of had a few saves kind of stuck, and with the new update, portal traveling is definitely out. So warping is your way to go, and I've just sort of haven't really made it anywhere to any crowded place with any other groups of people. So I've just been exploring, finding little interesting, strange little regions and claiming them. I've been finding a lot of those new biomes, so I'm actually actively looking for dead planets instead of those lush planets that everyone else looks for. And when I scan for the dead planets, I get these really neat biomes. That they look like they got these crazy filters, like sepia tone or chromatone. Really, really neat, and they've all got life, but it's just everything is altered. In there, some of them have these gigantic plants, and when I mean gigantic, I mean like Ray Rod style, huge plants. So I've been like hanging around there and sort of seeing some of those new bugs. And if you read the description of the planet, that's the one that'll tell you if it's one of the ones you're looking for, because it's usually a really awkward name, bloodthirsty planet or corrupt planet.
Yeah, I forget.
Geez, one of them was blood seas. I mean, anything like that just doesn't sound very nice, right? So you scan it and take a look. And some of them are true to their name. I think one of them was, which was a really interesting name. And it looked like somebody had painted the sky. A Cabernet Sauvignon, just splashed wine all everywhere.
I think I had one like that. It was something to do with wine, and it was all black and like a really dark red hue to everything.
Yeah,
that's pretty crazy. I thought it was a glitch at first. Like I thought I had landed on a planet, and I was like, "Oh, this isn't right."
And there's others. There's greens and weird blues. The colors. I found one yesterday that was everything in the system looked gold.
Really?
Sepia tone.
Yeah.
You know that, right? Everything looked gold. I landed at the space anomaly, and sure enough, there's not a polo. My ship was white and gold instead of its normal, yellowish color.
Oh wow!
It was really kind of neat, like black, but with this gold tinge to everything. Just the coolest systems. Some of them, when they're those dead systems, the white stars, if you scan for life forms,
those are
the
cool.
white stars are these dead ones. Yeah, they don't have any space stations, right?
Yeah.
So you warp in and it's just a planet. And they've got everything that a system normally has except NPC play. There's no buildings, there's no space stations or trading posts or anything like that. So anything you build there, that's the only economy there is. I kind of wonder if they've made this, so that the game can develop an economy for those star systems.
I would love that, dude.
That would be really interesting if it would actually develop an economy for systems. Because if you look on the bottom, it just says unavailable when you're right. No conflict level.
Right.
It's all blank. Just data unavailable.
Yeah. No, that would be pretty wild. If you could just kind of like start, if you could build a terminal, like a galactic terminal or something, and then just start, putting your own items on there, let the prices fluctuate based on who's buying and selling, and then watch that economy description develop on the star map. That would be interesting. That'd be wild, dude. I would love that.
Well, and not only that, but the implications of hub community events and so on like that, right? A hub could actually grow as a community and economy in the actual universe as an economic force, if you will, right? Yeah. A whole group of stars with good economies. That would be really kind of neat. I don't know if that's planned, but it sure looks like it could be with the way that they've got the information. So that more things good to come. Who knows? Maybe another update.
I was gonna say
maybe we haven't even seen it yet, right? I mean, has anyone really explored these systems, and has anyone made any bases in these dead systems? So that's really kind of neat, right?
Well, you do a lot of research, like in the game. Like, are you doing research on anything like that right now, or are you just kind of enjoying the game?
Am I doing research, boy? There's so much research. I haven't been able to put anything out because I want to make sure I'm doing technology research for ships right now. The upgrade, the different bonuses, synergy, connecting them all together. I do a lot of this work with the quartet at the cafe.
Nice.
We're like a science group, friends. We all get together and research and test some of these theories, and then put it out in these knowledge stones that we do. So, I've been working really hard on getting a bunch of data and stuff like that recorded down for the upgrades.
Yeah.
I've just recently managed to get through all of them on the S class. There's a.
Oh, what was that? You cut out on me.
The upgrades themselves, they all range from different stats and so on and so forth, right? So I'm constantly recording down new stats and then trying to get it all together and put it out on paper. So yeah, I've got tons of stuff. You should see my notebook. It's probably like 80 pages of just all next notes.
Oh, I bet, dude. I remember
ship upgrades.
I remember like a year ago, I think you showed a screenshot of some of your books that you had, and it was a lot then. So I can only imagine now what you've got.
A
few phone books.
It's been. Yeah, well, I try and do that while I play the game, but it's sometimes you sort of have to try and I got to get my character going, there's all this new stuff that's available and trying to get it to all work. I only have one save where I can build a base. I don't have any base computers, so I've just sort of been trying to work on some of that and learn the new things. And even that's got a few bugs too. So I'm kind of hoping and waiting for the next update to come out and try and hopefully everything gets fixed and I can get moving from there.
Yeah.
One of the other interesting things I've noticed, has anyone seen those dead systems with the space station that is derelict?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever explored those systems yet?
I found 2. Yeah, I've come into 2 of those.
Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Next time you try, remember the system and then go in creative mode. Okay. I say this because it won't be long if you try it in any other mode. But shoot the space station. You hear me, Ruiz?
I was going to say, you sound like Ruiz now.
Shoot the space station. That's right. Go into creative mode and then shoot the space station. And the amazing thing that happens is it's boggling. sentinels pour out of the station.
Oh wow!
And they all go to like a spot somewhere in the middle of space. And if you follow them there, it's quite cool. They all their contrails for their ships, they're all buzzing around, and they create this amazing ballet
laser
of
light show
contrails, and it's a sight to behold. And there's, I don't know, I guess if you shoot, I don't know, a good 30 seconds, let your whole weapon completely exhaust, and let them all fire out of this, the space station. There's tons of them that come out.
Wow!
And they have this amazing display. They form this hive out in the middle of space, and they buzz in and out of the center, back and forth. It's really quite cool. And you'd only want to try it on creative, because in any other mode, they just shoot you down in seconds.
Yeah, probably not something you want to do on permadeath. That's for sure.
Yeah, you just die very, very quickly.
Yeah. Hey, what does this
do?
But
if you want to witness the whole event, you definitely want to be on creative and just check it out. It's really kind of neat.
Yeah, that's cool.
They buzz around like crazy, and in creative, of course, they don't do anything except fly around each other. You can shoot them in creative if you want, and kill them and collect all the stuff. But the show is actually them flying around and seeing the hive that they form with, I don't know, I must have seen maybe 50 or 60 sentinel ships buzzing around.
Oh wow!
And the color is they got like the red sort of contrail color, right? And,
yeah.
Depending on the system that you're in, mine was green, but all the different colors for the different systems. It has a really cool effect. I highly recommend trying it. I think there might even be some lore to that, which just hasn't really been. They've left these dead space stations there for a reason.
You know what? Yeah, and I think they are going to start implementing more lore. I think we were talking about this too last week or last time with the with those weekly missions and everything too. The weekly stuff. I think there's so much room to add more lore in such cool ways of doing it now. The weeklies being one thing, discovering stuff like you just said yourself, and those little what are those creatures called again? The ones that now spit at you.
Whispering.
Yeah,
the whispering eggs.
Yeah, those things. Like, there's got to be some backstory to those things. Like, where the hell did they come from, right?
Definitely.
And I noticed they updated it now in one of the patches that they can spit at you now, because people were building like something to stand on, right?
Yeah.
And I guess they couldn't attack you as long as you were standing on something. So now they can spit at you and attack you.
Even better, right?
Yeah, so they're not messing around.
That's
now.
okay. They'll still die just as fast.
Yeah. But
I mean,
but there's so much room for extra lore, and I think that's going to be the direction of their future updates. Like, as far as the game it's in its state that it's in right now, I can't really see them adding anything huge, like game-changing huge, other than tweaks to make the game run smoother, and weekly events, obviously, and then maybe some lore. That's what I think they're going to be focusing on next. I hope, anyways.
Well, there has to be. They've introduced so many cool features and things in the game.
Yeah,
they've got to introduce more lore to sort of go along with it. If you remember from the last update, they had those rings with the lore.
Right, those ring things.
Station, yeah. Right? So you go up to these, and they were only found on those exotic planets. So you find them there, and if you follow enough of them, you get the whole lore behind these rings, which is a nice, dark little tale about how these planets have been corrupted by the Sentinel, and they're supposed to be that's their portal way into those worlds. Some of these other newer worlds in post next, I'm noticing. They've got these rings made out of stone that look very similar to those. They're in the planets. Some of them are in the ground, sticking up like a big giant ring rock. Others are laying in the water, like pools almost. But they all look similar, and they've all got the same basic look to them. It's not just like a ring. They've got like almost a bow, it looks like, at the top and everything, just like it is in those loops of lore, I think, as we called them.
Loops of lore. I like it. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, they seem to be everywhere.
Yeah, I know. Codver Prime, I think when he does his streams on Sunday, I think he dives into those, or he was anyways before next. I know he was diving into those a lot and reading the lore and stuff like that and catching up. I mean, the lore is so cryptic, you know, that it makes it. It kind of reminds me of back in the day in 2016 when portals were such a mystery and everybody kind of came together to solve these riddles. That's basically how the lore is in No Man's Sky. I find it's very cryptic, and it makes it a conversation.
It's open-ended.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, it could go any way, and they never really resolve it, right? No question really ever gets resolved. They just add more questions to it. Yeah, and it just encourages more questions. Encourages the community to discuss it, you know what I mean? Because everyone has a different view or a similar view, and it kind of just unfolds with everyone kind of unraveling it together, which is just another cool thing that Hello Games has done. Yeah, they it seems like they never stop adding content for the fans. You know, even when the game was in its infant state, there was so much content for us to enjoy, lore, game content, farming resources, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, yeah. And they just keep adding to it. And I know there's a lot of bugs right now, and there's a few unhappy people, but keep in mind, this happens with every game when they introduce, new updates, each system and their own little bugs within each PlayStation console, right? Creates new problems, right? And they have to sort of do little hot fixes along the way until they get it all right. I think it took them like 8 tries. The last update, 1.38, I think was the final one. Yeah. This time we're up to 1.60, I think is their latest experimental patch that I remember hearing about. Yeah. So we've got a couple more on PS4 coming, and hopefully those will solve most of the problems. They will, and get the game up to speed with where it was, only a month and a half. Oh, they'll get there. Yeah. So what do you spend your time doing? Base building? Or are you exploring? Well, I started a new save when Next dropped, so I had my legacy save and all that, and I still have it, but I just started from the beginning because I wanted them to hold my hand this time. I wanted to learn everything from scratch and take it all in as a new player. I was kind of it's good to experience it that way. I was envying the Xbox players, I thought these guys are going to be playing it for the first time all in one shot, and I thought, you know what, that's kind of how I want to do it this time around. So yeah, I started a fresh save, but I mean, I'm caught up now. I just finished the Artemis quest. I finished the Heart of the Sun and the Atlas Path, all that stuff. So yeah, now I'm just kind of tweaking my base that I have. I've got a bit of a castle going on, and just trying to do the weeklies and typical NMS stuff. I just turn it on and let it take me in whatever direction it wants to take me that day. Yeah. What do you think of the weekly community event? Have you enjoyed them? I love them. I mean, I'll be honest, I think they're maybe a little too simple, but maybe that's just the start. I was kind of hoping for something. I think you might be right. Yeah, I don't mind running around gathering things and collecting them and handing them in and stuff like that. It's very easy to do. It's like a fetch quest, But I was hoping for more of not necessarily a team thing, 'cause I know a lot of people solo the game and they want to be able to do them solo. But I thought having a 4-man crew and then having to accomplish something together, like battle missions. Yeah. And even something I think that's coming. They've got it set up like that, right? They've got group missions in your freighter when you look at the freighter bridge. Yeah. And I think I've been hearing rumors that the next one is a Sentinel, right? Kind of a community event. Yeah. So I don't know what that's going to entail, but I would imagine it would be better to team up as a group and take them down than it is, as a one-person army. Yeah. Especially if it's take down a walker or something like that. Oh, yeah. I mean, you can only imagine how much easier it would be one person shooting, the other person as a decoy or whatever. They're setting themselves up, I think, they're creeping in a slower way, right? If they made it too hard at the beginning, I think people would be down on the game.
Well, yeah, and look what happened.
And multiplayer's had some issues.
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna say there was some glitches and some shit like that too. So I mean, that's the other thing. Is as simple as they made it, there was still some glitches. So I think it's kind of like I find that the way Hello Games works, and I love them for this, is everything almost seems like a test. There's like always like a test phase first. So even with multiplayer, they brought in the orbs and co-op, and that was like a test before actually bringing multiplayer into next. And I think with these weeklies, it's kind of the same thing. I think they're simple right now because it's a test to see how it runs, and then they'll start to get complicated the more they tweak it and everything.
Yeah, collecting.
Yeah.
Oops, it's fun for a little while, but I'm sure that that's why they had it, first, because it's one of the easiest things to do, right? Go out, feed some animals, collect some poop. Yeah. There you go. Get some Quicksilver.
Pick up after your pets, people.
That's right.
Yeah. No, but I've been loving it, though.
The first one was really fun too. Yeah. I had a lot of fun doing it.
I think it created,
and it's fast enough, like where you can do it on multiple accounts. Like it doesn't take 2 or 3 days to on a single save. I know the last one I did in like an hour on all 3 of my accounts. I was able to go back and do them, and then afterwards, you can get the right. So, and that didn't take long either, right? I was feeding animals on my home planet and collecting more Quicksilver. Yeah, that was a nice, easy one. Yeah, I like how it continued after the quest was over. You could still have ways of earning more of that Quicksilver. So that was really kind of fun being able to do. I don't know, how much Quicksilver do you?
I think I'm dry now. I'm like down to 30.
Oh yeah? I've been saving up. I bought a couple of things, but I've been saving up. I'm up to like almost 3,000 again.
Oh wow!
So I guess when the next one drops. Yeah. Well, I wanted to buy some of the expensive items, like the helmets and stuff. But I really, first and foremost, I like the emotes because that's our silent communication in the game.
Yeah, same here. I like that.
And I'm not sure about everybody else out there, but I like and appreciate the quiet solitude that the game has offered me in so many ways. Sometimes multiplayer can be quite cluttered. And so being able to do things on my own that's what I've always enjoyed about No Man's Sky. So having the ability to go multiplayer and quit out a multiplayer and go back to playing by myself is something I really like to do. Yeah. And so if somebody were to drop in on you and you don't necessarily have your microphone handy, it's really easy to be able to do a couple of emotes. I think would be kind of fun, and communicate physically with somebody instead of verbally, right? Mm-hmm. I guess not everybody speaks the same language, and so emotes would be the universal language. Yeah. Next to math, of course.
And you know what? Going back to what you just said too about like the solitaire experience and everything, I think that was such an important aspect to keep in the game because so many people were worried with multiplayer coming with No Man's Sky next that the game wasn't going to be the same. But I find that even though, like you say, even though it's multiplayer and I'm always playing with people, but I still have that like solo. I still feel like I'm alone in space. Yeah,
well, you can still turn yourself offline, right? To offline, servers. Yeah. There's that option, right? And sometimes I'll do that, right? Just so that I don't have somebody pop in on me or whatever. Because there are sometimes I don't want everybody to see something before I've got it finished. Like say a base build or something. I'm kind of like I like a reveal kind of thing, right? So you'll see it when it's all finished. Finished. And there's always that worry in the back of your head that some clown's going to come and start shooting you while you're doing some zoology or something on your planet. I so far, cross my fingers and knock on wood, the whole lucky thing. I haven't had that experience yet. I've had a couple of players pop in on me, all friendly experiences. But so far, no bad experiences in the multiplayer field as far as somebody trying to take shots at me. Of course, since the last patch, you can disable those functions.
The permissions,
and so, even if they do pop in, they can shoot you all they want. nothing's going to happen.
Yeah. No, that was a great idea.
So there is that. Yeah, I do like that, because for people who are not interested in that kind of a risk, like say permadeath.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really big feature to be able to. Yeah, you can play multiplayer, and you can opt to not injure each other or have those settings on. So I like that.
That was brilliant bringing that in.
More things to enjoy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, they really kept it so that everybody's like, they have a way of pleasing everyone. Like the ones that wanted multiplayer, they got multiplayer. The ones that were worried about multiplayer, that wanted it to be optional, they made it that way. Like they're just so good at working around the community and giving us what we want. It's so funny, because in the troll community, all the haters, they go on about how, Hello Games, they don't give us what we want type of thing, and it's so the opposite. It's they absolutely listen to the fans and give them exactly what we want.
Absolutely.
If they can add fishing in the game, then I'll really be happy.
I'm still waiting for multiple multi-tools.
Yeah, or that
was one of my big ones.
Right.
Just to be able to have lots of them.
Yeah.
And then to switch multi-tools like you do.
Well, multiple
have
multi-tools
it
makes
on
sense.
Well, sure, especially with the way they've done it now with the game, where they've sort of nerfed them a little bit, right? Yeah. So like some of the really cool ones, they only have a couple of slots, right? 5 to 10 slots. So you kind of want to specialize in certain ways, right? Whether it's a weapon or a scanner or just mining. I think that would be really cool, is to have multiple multi-tools and to be able to swap out which ones you use for different scenarios.
Yeah.
And of course, you can only do this while they're in your base in a certain kind of a gun rack, or room or something that's available, right? Like you can't swap ships unless it's on your freighter. So, well, technically now you can, because you can land any ship on the planet. But having the ability to swap multi-tools would be really cool. However they find a way to fit it in the game, happy.
That's what I'm surprised they haven't added yet, because so many people go on about that. I'm sure it's coming, because everyone goes on about multiple multi-tools, but I'm shocked they haven't added it just yet. But
well,
sure
there's so much other content I think they wanted to add.
Yeah. And they're working out bugs too, right?
Multiplayer was a big one. Multiplayer was such a big one that they really wanted to give to the community.
Yeah.
And they've worked really hard over, not just this last year, but for the last few years, working on trying to make it happen. So, we'll enjoy No Man's Sky as we always have, and all the new features it's got. And, I know myself, I'm still trying to wrap my head around all these new resources and what the refiners do. I think that's a wonderful part of the game that they've added, is putting in those refiners.
Yeah, that thing's really cool.
Absolutely, yeah. I like the refiner. It adds to the crafting element of the game.
Yeah.
And also the ease of the game, because you can use it, instead of crafting elements yourself, you can use it through the refiner and have a whole bunch of them going in a whole row.
Yeah.
And then just come back 5 or 10 minutes later and just pick all the good stuff.
No, it's great. Actually, some of that stuff, like that hexite, apparently, what was it? I think it was hexite and
coprite. Make nanites.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you mix the two, you get nanites. That's kind of a nice little thing, right? Anybody that's extra hexite after the last event, right? You just get some coprite, put it on the. You want hexite on the top and coprite on the top.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't get full split, right?
Yeah.
And there you go.
Yep. So people that
1-to-1
wondering about what to do with your hexite, there you go. Mix it with some poo, and you make some money.
Yes, sir. Yeah, poo seems to revolve around everything in this game.
Yeah, it's very, very heavily influenced. Poop picking.
Even the animals kind of squat now. It's quite funny.
Yeah.
I know. I was watching the day doing it. Oh yeah, look, they actually squat. It doesn't just sort of appear out of nowhere now from dust.
Yeah, they really put some thought into it this time.
Yeah, a little thought to some of the graphics.
Put some love into the poop effects.
Yeah.
Well, shall we wrap it up?
Oh, I think I lost you for a minute.
Well,
hello.
I was saying, shall we wrap it up?
Ah, I think so.
I guess it's that time,
we've narrowed it down for about half an hour now. Wow, that's gone fast. It feels like we've got so much more we could even talk about too.
The good thing is I don't see anyone screaming at us in chat saying, where's Dope's art? So I think we're safe.
Yeah,
we got out unscathed.
Next week for sure. Provided that the hurricanes leave Mr. Dope's art alone, we will have him on, and look really forward to chatting with him about his craft and his art, and everything he brings to the community.
Yeah, that'll be a fun conversation. He was super excited to come on this morning, but like DG said, he had some issues due to the hurricane with his Wi-Fi and stuff. So, but yeah, we'll have him on soon, and that's gonna be a blast. I've been really looking forward to talking to him, so it'll be a good time.
Absolutely, yeah. I look forward to it. I look forward to speaking with him at any chance. I've had a few chances to chat with him, and he's a really interesting guy, right?
Oh, nice.
Some of the things that he does with his artwork is really, really cool, and it translates to how he views his life on No Man's Sky. So it's really cool, and we can't wait to.
Absolutely. Well, my friend, I guess we will discuss more of that later. And for anybody who showed up this morning to catch us live, thank you very much. And if you're listening to the archive of this on YouTube, that's because you're a wonderful person. So we will see you next week for episode 14 of NMSisLife, and that'll be with Mr. Dope's Art.
Till next time, y'all.
Stay safe out there.